In Crime Watch tonight, Vermont State Police are working with federal authorities to investigate the kidnapping and apparent sexual assault of a 16-year-old girl who was rescued at the Canadian border, as police say the suspect attempted to cross country lines. Local 44's Devin Bates joins us live in Colchester, where that gas station is involved with this story. Devin?
That's right, Lauren. State police are asking anyone who saw something out of the ordinary here at the Maple Fields off exit 16 in Colchester to give them a call. Early Thursday morning, police say 19-year-old Christopher Jesus Costanzo took a 16-year-old from the trunk of his car and put her in the back seat. Troopers say at least one person saw this at the Maple Fields parking lot off I-89 exit 16 before Costanzo drove north again. Officials think by that point, the girl had been in the trunk of his green 2007 Toyota Camry for several hours. The details get more disturbing as police in Connecticut say the victim was also sexually assaulted. Maplefield store surveillance shows a man believed to be Costanzo at the counter around 3:40 a.m. Thursday. According to Vermont State Police, at least one person may have witnessed this but hasn't come forward. State police say when Costanzo got to the Canadian border, he was denied entry and ordered to return to Vermont. He and the victim were questioned by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents, and she reported being held against her will. Costanzo was immediately taken into custody. And once again, anyone who saw anything unusual here from that 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. time window Thursday morning should contact Detective Sergeant Angela Baker with Vermont State Police St. Albans Barracks. Live in Colchester, Devin Bates, Local 44 News.
Devin, thank you. A man is being held without bail tonight, accused of holding up a Keysville bank this week, and today we learned he has a criminal past. Now, this robbery happened at the Mountain Valley Federal Credit Union on Tuesday. Police say 38-year-old Anthony Babby gave the teller a note saying he had a weapon and demanded cash. He was later arrested and taken to the hospital for some kind of a medical issue. Babby is also being charged for a domestic assault, also in Keysville, from October. Police say Babby beat, choked, and threatened someone with a knife after an argument. He is due in court next week. And new tonight, students and faculty at SUNY are calling for Chancellor Jim Malatras to resign following text messages released in the investigation into former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, in the documents from the Attorney General's report, expletive texts sent by Malatras to Cuomo have surfaced. The messages were sent less than 2 months before he was appointed chancellor in August 2020 and focused on a female co-worker. The SUNY Student Assembly say the messages lack professionalism and should disqualify Malatras from his position. The Faculty Council of Community Colleges has requested he resign and that they appoint a temporary officer in charge. Well, in a statement released by Malatras himself in the past few minutes, he called his own remarks disparaging and disrespectful. He goes on to write, quote, "I know in this instance I fell short, but I am committed to doing the work to regain your trust and continuing on the path of ensuring a brighter future for SUNY." The Board of Trustees remains in support of Malatras. Students and parents at Mount Abraham Union School say they feel scared following threats apparently made on social media. There was an increased police presence outside the middle and high school all day long today. Local 44's Courtney Kramer talked with the community where many parents kept their children home from school today.
Students don't feel safe, and you go to school and you want to feel safe. You go there to learn. At this point, the behavior at school has been escalating, and it feels like this is the explosion.
Students at Mount Abe say even a 1% chance someone could bring a weapon to school was enough to keep them home Friday.
We're feeling disturbed and concerned for people's safety and also just the overall well-being of our school community.
In a note to students and parents Thursday, Principal Shannon Warden said the police presence is out of an abundance of caution. The school banned students from wearing flags as capes after they became disruptive and politically charged.
parading in a Blue Lives Matter, blue stripe flag and a Don't Tread on Me flag, and racial slurs, ethnic slurs, stuff like that, jokes that are clearly not funny, they're racist.
Police also looked into posts made to social media that caused concern. However, they determined there was nothing credible.
It was something to the effect of 100 shots, 1 miss, and that was it. We take these threats seriously. We are going to investigate them, and we are going to do our best to keep everybody safe.
One student tells me personally she knows nobody that attended school Friday. And both parents and students tell me their fear won't disappear come Monday.
It's frightening, because I keep my son home today, but what makes Monday or the next week or month any better? Because who knows, just because there's police presence at the school one day doesn't mean that the rest of the days are safe. And that's what's concerning.
Melissa Perry says she's spoken with other parents feeling the same. She says clearer communication from the school is crucial as the reality of these threats hits close to home. Students say they need support too.
More support to the directly affected students rather than so much energy on the instigators of the violence.
In Bristol, Courtney Kramer, Local 44 News.
In New York, state police say they issued nearly 13,000 tickets over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. In the North Country, 846 tickets were written. Most were speeding related. Statewide, 183 people were arrested for DWI. In our region, it was just 11. 26 people were ticketed for distracted driving. The enforcement campaign was funded by the governor's Traffic Safety Committee. Now to our coronavirus coverage. Danville is the latest Vermont community to put a mask mandate in place. The rule went into effect last night after a unanimous vote from the select board. So for the next 45 days, people must wear a mask in all public places. However, it doesn't apply to children under 2 or while eating or drinking in a restaurant or bar. In a letter to business owners, the Danville Select Board says it's providing posters, but stores are not required to put them up. Now, the board didn't respond to requests for comment today, but we did speak with a few businesses who say they didn't feel included in the decision. One of them attended the meeting last night, and she asked to remain off camera.
I feel like it's already been a struggle. It has been extremely, extremely hard. And I'm not saying I'm for it, and I'm not saying I'm against it. It just feels like it's another obstacle to try to run a business.
During this 45-day period, the select board will vote on whether to stop or extend the mandate for an additional 30 days. The Vermont League of Cities and Towns provided a list of communities who have adopted or plan to discuss a mandate. Charlotte, Ludlow, Montpelier, and South Burlington are still on the list who may take this up in the next week or so. We have much more information, by the way, on our website, mychamplainvalley.com. And signs are now outside every Church Street business tonight urging you to mask up. The guidance applies to all businesses and organizations except those with a vaccine mandate, schools, or places of worship. Exceptions also apply to those under 2 or with medical conditions. The mandate will be reviewed every 30 days again as well. Well, according to the CDC, New Hampshire has the highest 7-day new case rate in the country. And this news comes as the state is ramping up efforts to get people vaccinated. The Granite State reported 1,450 additional cases. ICU beds are at capacity, and Democratic state lawmakers are urging the governor to do more. Vermont marked 482 cases today, with 81 people hospitalized. And that number, that 81 hospitalization record, was a high. By and large, it has remained steady all week, and that has concerned Vermont officials all week. The White House says it is closely monitoring the spread of Omicron. Today, the COVID response team called Americans to get their shots. As Local 44's Raquel Martin reports, Republicans say they're now concerned more restrictions are on the horizon.
Get vaccinated and get boosted
right away.
The White House COVID response team says that's the bottom line if Americans want to protect themselves from the new Omicron variant.
We are equipped and prepared to fight the Omicron variant head on.
At a Friday briefing, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said the variant has now spread to nearly 40 countries and nearly 6 U.S. states, but emphasizes the Delta variant remains the country's biggest problem.
99.9% of cases in the country right now are from the Delta variant.
The White House says research is underway to determine just how contagious the Omicron variant is and how effective current vaccines are to fight back.
Strongly suggest that boosters will give you cross protection.
The White House is advancing new rules to get ahead of the spread, including an expansion of free at-home COVID tests and continued travel bans for 8 Southern African nations.
So I continue to rely on the scientists and asking them whether or not we have to move beyond what we did yesterday. Right now, they're saying no.
But House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy says he's concerned that could change.
President Biden's only strategy so far has been to threaten Americans with more arbitrary COVID restrictions and mandates.
That's why next week Senate Republicans will try to push back by holding a vote on a plan to reverse federal vaccine mandates they call unconstitutional. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Inflation and supply chain issues have hit really all parts of the nation. Coming up, how the Georgia food shelf in Vermont is pushing forward. And a vigil in Oxford, Michigan tonight as the community remembers the 4 students lost.
And those temperatures going to be in the teens and even single digits out there tonight. We are going to warm up, but it is going to take a couple of days. More on that timeline straight ahead.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News.
Inflation and supply chain issues are making it harder to buy lots of things, including food. So how is it affecting the ability of food shelves to serve their own communities? Local 44's Mike Hoey joins us live in the studio tonight after going to Georgia today to find out. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Lauren, and as best I could tell while I was there, neither rising prices nor supply chain bottlenecks seem to be taking a drastic toll on the Georgia food shelf. June Waite and Jolly Bates aren't only sisters, they're also two of the volunteers that help operate the Georgia food shelf, attached to the Georgia Public Library on Route 7.
When our funds start to go down, people just come through. So, at Thanksgiving, we had a car company donate 35 turkeys. We had, people just have been real generous with us.
Jolly keeps the food shelf's books. She says inflation doesn't seem to be damaging the organization at the moment, but its available base of supporters may be smaller than it once was.
Those that can help have helped a lot more in the last 2 years. There was one man from the local area that gave thousands.
Another benefactor bought several freezer cases. The spike in demand the sisters noticed at the onset of the pandemic has moderated somewhat since then, but they both say the food shelf is serving more people now than 2 years ago.
We're seeing people we haven't seen in several years come back.
And a lot of times people think food shelves are for families or large families, but we do have the elderly, and they didn't get many benefits during pandemic, so the elderly are hurting.
Supply chain issues also don't seem to be hurting the food shelf's ability to buy items from local grocery stores, with two apparent exceptions.
They've been pretty stocked. They'll be out 1 week, but then the next week they've got the product in. The only thing we really keep running out of is tacos.
The funny things that people keep saying is they can't find any cat food, and we can't either, so they're learning to feed their cats, I think, something different.
Now, Lauren, last month's inflation rate isn't out yet from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, but October's 6.2% was the highest rate in the U.S. since November 1990, and the Bureau listed food prices as one of the larger contributors to that. Live in the studio tonight, Mike Hoey, Local 44 News.
Thanks, Mike. Predictions for job growth fell far short over the past month. Coming up, even with the lower numbers reported, officials in Washington are remaining optimistic.
And with that quiet forecast tonight, we are actually tracking some lighter snow chances as we move into the start of your weekend. How that could impact any of your plans coming up.
Now, meteorologist Dylan DeBruin with your Sky Tracker forecast.
Good Friday night, everyone. That sunshine returned for us today, but it was a lot colder outside. No 40s in that forecast earlier this afternoon. We're now in the 20s in Burlington. Winds still making it feel a bit cooler out there, but we are dry. No snow chances really through tonight until most likely tomorrow afternoon. But our winds still around 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the north and west. That is locking in this really cold air mass, so we are already seeing some teens out there. 18 in Newport, around 13 degrees in Saranac Lake, 22 in Middlebury, and we're still a little bit warmer in Keene, 30 for you, but most of us will fall back into the 20s and teens, and those winds even making it feel like the single digits. Up in Newport, 9 degrees for you, feeling more like 11 in Plattsburgh, and around 22 in Keene. So it's going to be cold out there tonight. We're already pretty chilly. We will see those snow shower chances return as we head into Saturday afternoon, and then eventually warming up. So a lot of that snowfall going to melt for us as we head into early next week. So across our region tonight, though, it is very quiet. High pressure is moving out of here. Our next storm system is a quick moving system, but it is going to increase some of that cloud cover as we head into early tomorrow morning. So I think for the most part, most of us wake up to some sunshine. A few clouds start to work their way into the Adirondacks, but again, overnight tonight, teens and even single digits. This is a look at temperatures right around 7 a.m. We're close to 10 degrees in Newport, Saranac Lake. Wind chill values will be in the single digits, if not sub-zero in the higher terrain through tomorrow morning. So make sure you're wearing all those layers as we start the weekend, and then those snow showers arrive for us into the afternoon. You could see even some embedded snow squalls in here as this system pushes its way off towards the east. So by tomorrow night, though, we're drying out. Still going to be fairly cold out there. Definitely supportive of some snowfall. Totals, I'm thinking, going to be around a coating to maybe 2 inches. You can see a latest guidance kind of pushing this a little bit off towards the north, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that, but it is still going to be cold, around 5 to 10 degrees cooler than average. That warmer air just up towards our south trying to make its way in here, and it is eventually going to do so. Not for tomorrow, though, staying in the lower 30s. So as we take a look at this pattern change, at least for a day, we're going to see this warm front move through for us as we get into late Sunday and Monday. That means our next storm system going to be mainly a rain event, may end as a few flakes as the colder air moves back in here. So 7-day forecast shows that temperature swing mid to even upper 30s on Sunday. I do think that's probably your pick day this weekend. We'll see some sunshine before those clouds work their way back in, but a rainy day on Monday, going to be very windy as well. Highs in the lower 50s, and then we are eyeing that storm potential for some snowfall Wednesday and Thursday of next week. If you want the latest on that forecast, you can find it on our website, mychamplainvalley.com, and click on that weather tab.
But we'll have to wait and see, right? Because the temperatures appear to look above freezing so far.
They're kind of back and forth. A lot of our systems recently, you've probably noticed, have trended on the warmer side. So I just want to make sure that doesn't happen to this one before I adjust those temperatures.
By the way, blizzard warning in Hawaii?
It's actually normal. I mean, those mountains are over 14,000 feet high. So
that's normal?
Yeah. It's normal in Hawaii, but we just don't talk about it a whole lot.
All right. Okay. I thought it was a bit much, but you know more than me. Thanks, Dylan. All right, coming up, after searching for a new name, the search for a new president begins. The next step as Vermont State University gets ready to launch next school year.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News. local news that matters on Local 44 News.
Really the big story around the nation tonight, the parents of a teenager charged in the Michigan school shooting now face charges themselves. But when they were due to appear in court this morning, they didn't show up. Now they're considered fugitives. Lauren Blanchard has more on the tragic case and how the community continues to cope.
A Friday night vigil remembering the 4 students killed in the Oxford High School shooting in Michigan on Tuesday, but there were some tense moments. A person fainted. The cries for help caused panic in the hundreds gathered.
We're okay. We're Oxford strong.
Meanwhile, Friday, Oakland County prosecutors filed involuntary manslaughter charges against the parents of the 15-year-old suspect. James and Jennifer Crumbly were supposed to turn themselves in Friday morning, but didn't show up, prompting a search by local authorities and U.S. Marshals. Attorneys for the couple say they left the area Tuesday night fearing for their safety, and by Friday evening, they were headed back.
The facts of this case are so egregious.
Oakland County prosecutors say the charges come after evidence shows the parents bought the gun for their son and didn't store it properly. More evidence suggests the mother knew her son was researching ammunition and that he was showing troubling behavior at school.
Any individual who had the opportunity to stop this tragedy should have done so.
The day of the shooting, a teacher reported the teen drawing a picture of a gun, a bloody body, and the words "help me," and called a meeting with the parents. Still, no one pulled him from class.
It is causing great distress among our whole agency that this happened and that there was an opportunity potentially to prevent it.
Oxford High School may also face culpability charges. Prosecutors are weighing whether they missed or ignored warning signs.
Such a disturbing story. When we come back, the White House once again focused on Russia. Coming up, tensions are high as Russian troops are lining the border with Ukraine.
Local 44 News starts now with your forecast first.
Good Friday night, everyone. 25 right now in Burlington. That's actually one of the warmer spots, at least in portions of the North Country. We are seeing 18 currently in Newport, 13 degrees in Saranac Lake, lower 20s in Montreal, up into Plattsburgh, around 27 in Rutland. So we're dry out there tonight. Snow chances arrive as we head into Saturday afternoon as the chill remains, but I'm actually timing out 50s as we head into your Monday. So full look at those changes in just a few minutes. Local 44 News continues now.
You're watching local news that matters. This is Local 44 News at 10:30.
Education matters this half hour. The Vermont State Colleges system is now accepting applications and nominations for candidates to become the first president of a Vermont State university. The school won't be formally established until the beginning of the 2022-23 academic year, when Castleton University, Northern Vermont University, and Vermont Technical College will merge and operate 5 campuses across the state. Megan Kluver is chairing the search committee and said it will take a strong leader to oversee that transition.
We are seeking a visionary leader who can really draw from the unique culture and the context of each of our institutions, leading our institutions through their final year as separate institutions and through the launch of Vermont State University. And I think really integral to this role is the ability to bring our 3 institutions together.
Right now, the plan is to have a strong pool of candidates by February, which will be narrowed down the following month before a hire is announced in April.